Do the Philadelphia Eagles belong number one over the San Francisco 49ers in your weekly power rankings at this point? I'm going to explain to you today why, yes, they do. And we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss my entire power rankings. Phillies, Braves, game 3 this afternoon, 5:07. We're going to talk Phillies today a little bit too, and how I don't have a very good feeling entering tonight. Oh, man, my Red October hype is starting to wane a little bit. We're going to talk all about that, where your opinions matter right here on Trending in the AM. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, follow, subscribe. It's free to do all that. It's free to drop your comments in the comment section because Trending in the AM, it's the only morning show in Philadelphia. It's the only sports show, period, in Philadelphia, where your opinions actually matter. Your opinions drive the show. I set the topics. You tell me how you feel, and that's what we talk about. And if you want to change the topic, we let you do that as well. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything, at Beard of Knowledge. Look me up, say hi. I'll interact with you there as well. How is it going, K1? How you doing today? Big fella. I am actually wearing the Big Pieces t-shirt today. So I got a little big piece. I feel like I needed a little positive vibes for Phillies. We're not talking Phillies yet. Don't worry. Don't freak out, K1. But I need a little positive vibe. So I brought out the big piece Ryan Howard jersey today. Bring some of that '08 to 2011 Phillies positivity to me today. So we're going to get started. We're going to talk Philadelphia Eagles today. We're going to talk Philadelphia Phillies a little bit today on the Eagles. Good morning, man. Chatter. It is a big Phillies day. Weird 5:07 start time tonight for the Phillies game. I actually love it. Secretly, a 5 o'clock sporting event for any sport is perfect. I mean, especially when you get done work at 4 on a Wednesday like I do, getting a 5 o'clock start time, it's perfect. Sit down, have a little dinner, watch the game. Game's over well before dinner. Plenty of time to settle down and calm the nerves, positive or negative. I wish all sporting events were at 5 o'clock. I mean, I wish every work day was over at 4 o'clock as well, but that can't happen. But I love the 5 o'clock start time for the Phillies game tonight. Don't choke. I hope not. I hope not. We'll get into the Phillies game later in the show. What's up, Travis? What's the problem with the red zone offense? Number 3 last year, 27th now. Can it be fixed? Or change of the offensive coordinator? I mean, I think that's an interesting question. We ended the show a little bit with Brian Johnson and Nick and Sean Desai talk yesterday. I think we are trending in the right direction. And someone brought up yesterday on the show, it took 6-7 weeks of Shane Steichen at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, to get used to play calling and figuring out what he was doing. I've seen an improvement from Brian Johnson and this offense. Now, the only thing that's missing is getting that red zone touchdowns more consistently, not settling for field goals. And it's funny, I don't know if you saw this, Travis, and I don't know what the exact number is, but I saw somebody put out a post about the amount of field goals the Eagles have kicked this year already through 5 weeks and where it compares to the league. And it's insanely up at the top. And you would think a high-powered offense like the Eagles would get into the end zone more. And I think last week against the Rams, even though they went, it was 2 of 6 in the red zone, Travis, I think it was a step in the right direction because one of your big red zone targets is Dallas Goedert. And you started to get him going a little bit last week. You started to get his confidence moving in the right direction. So I think we're trending in the right direction. I'm not panicking yet on the offense at all. I think it's a work in progress, and a work in progress it's going. And we're not going to score a million touchdowns. I don't. It's crazy that we're number 3 last year. A lot of that probably had to do with touchdown rushes and stuff like that. Um, but, also with the big playability of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and whatnot, you're always gonna score a few less red zone touchdowns because you're gonna score 20 and 30-yard touchdowns more frequently. I will say, the one thing that concerns me with the red zone offense is that we're not running the ball enough when we get into the red zone. The one thing I talked about, and I know Miles Sanders is having an awful year. Hell, Miles Sanders is getting out snapped in Carolina now, by a few snaps by Chuba Hubbard. That's how much Miles Sanders is dropping off. But Miles Sanders had 13 touchdowns last year, 11 or 13 touchdowns rushing the ball last year, and we're not running the ball with DeAndre Swift or Kenneth Gainwell enough in the red zone. You run the ball, get it down there, and then we're just not we're not continuing what's getting us there, that success. So it's interesting. I think it's a work in progress. I think we're moving in the right direction offensively speaking. Um, Prophecy Phil wrecked Harden laughing. Look, yeah, I predicted Harden be gone by now. He's not. Oh no. And to all those people that called out my sources, I clearly said I have no sources. It's just a gut feeling. And my gut is very large. Sometimes I misread it a little bit. I can't help it. Um, but that's the way it is. But onto that coaching thing, I really think it's interesting that Brian Johnson is getting more comfortable for sure. Miles Sanders is pointless. Chuba is Walter Payton compared to him. That is a bold statement, man. But yeah, I mean, look, Miles Sanders had a great year last year, but a lot of that definitely had to do with the offensive line, it seems, and Jalen Hurts and all the wide receivers because down there in Carolina, they're just not using him right. Maybe he's a little spent. I don't know. It's just silly. Everyone in the world, ESPN saying the Niners are the best team when we clearly murdered them in the playoffs, and we're also undefeated. Everyone hates us for some reason. Look, Travis, look, we're going to get into my power rankings for the week here in a moment, and I think it's a very interesting point you bring up here. The Eagles in the ESPN power rankings are 2, 49ers are 1. You can make that argument, it's fine. But the power index, I don't know what analytic formula ESPN uses for the power index, but they got the Eagles like 8 in their power index. They have them dropping week to week. They got the Cowboys and the Ravens after bad losses ahead of them. They got the Bills with 2 losses number 1. Just proves that analytics number is god awfully wrong, however they build it. But I'm going to prove to you that the Eagles deserve to be in that conversation for number 1. I put them at number 1 in my power rankings, and the 49ers too. There is a little homerish behind that, but I think there's an argument to be made that it's not as far reaching as people think. Phil's source Tony, he comes and buys pizza. Yeah, I got this guy that he knocks on the back door and he gives me a little insider information. As long as we get in the red zone every possession, I'm not losing sleep. Yeah, scoring every drive, whether it's but it is kind of interesting to see that they're not completing the task as frequently as they used to. And I wonder how much of it is the play calling, how much of it is you know, what's going on. How much of it is Nick Sirianni, not being as overly aggressive as he used to. How many times last year did he go if it was like 2nd and 5 from the 15 and he would go for it, or 4th and 5 from the 15 and he would go for it. This year he's kicking the field goal. There's a big difference this year in that aggressiveness, in my opinion. They had no quarterback, just saying Christian McCaffrey could not pass. That is true. That's fine. That's fine. We're not going to murder them if they're healthy in the playoffs this year, but it's going to be a good hard fought battle. We're as evenly matched as possible. Do you think Kittle's T-shirt celebration went too far, or are they drinking too much of their hype juice? Um, I'll be honest, Peanut. I have no idea what you're talking about there. I did not see Kittle's T-shirt celebration, so I don't know. But the 49ers, I mean, they are a very immature team. They're not laser focused as a team like the Eagles are, and that could come back to bite you in a big game in a big moment, like against the Eagles. I really do. So I don't know what that specifically means. On a side note, Peanut, I do want to say I did run a poll. It's still running on my Twitter page at Beard and Knowledge. I ran it yesterday after the show, a discussion about the Tush Push nickname, and I put out there the vote. What name should it be called? The tush push, the brotherly shove, the Philly scrum, or as Peanut put it, the butt crack snap? 88 votes so far. Obviously, 87.5% of the vote voted for the brotherly shove, but 3.4% of 88 people, which I don't know how many that is, voted for the butt crack snap to be the answer. That actually beat out the Philly scrum, which got 1% of the vote. So 3.4% of 88 people think it should be called the butt crack snap, just so you know. My new rankings: Chiefs at 1 again, Dolphins 2, Eagles. No, sorry, can't put the teams with losses ahead of the undefeated Eagles. Nick went for it on 4th and 2, up 14, end of the game against the Bucks. He did. Different moments. He's just. I feel like he's lost a little bit of his aggressiveness. Not all of it. A little bit of it. Um, Kittle wore a T-shirt that says, "Oh, did he? Idiot." I mean, that's just immaturity. I saw something on Twitter this morning about one of the 49ers Instagram posts about, I guess, one of the Cowboys was falling and landed in a 49ers crotch area at the end of the game, and their post comment about it and stuff like that. I'm like, come on. You don't see that with the Eagles. Why? Because the Eagles are laser focused on one thing, winning each week. They're not worried about goofing around and social media and Instagram and all this. They're worried about focusing on winning and being the best team possible. If Eagles can beat Jets, a top AFC team, hold on a second. Saying the Jets are a top AFC team deserves a 5-minute timeout from the man chatter. I would be the happiest person alive if Jalen Carter. Well, no, no, no. See, I'm gonna strongly disagree with you here. We um, never root for injuries of any player on any team ever. No, can't do that at all. Uh, Kittens had a t-shirt. Yeah, how did I miss that, guys? Like everyone's bringing it up, and somehow, Kittens. You don't have to correct yourself. I think we'll just call him Kittens from here on out. But I don't know how I missed that. The butt crack snap got no love. It got more love than the scrum, so it got some love. Somebody do the math. What's 3.4% of 88? Um, Peanut probably made like 5 burner accounts to vote for it. And that's probably all it is. Not the S. He's dropped his crown king. Um, you beat the Dolphins. I'll put the Eagles one. Stop, man, chatter. Stop. Do not, I repeat, do not go against Phil's ranking. He takes it serious as a heart attack. No, I do not. What I take offense to, Peanut, is when you put the Cowboys and other national people put the Cowboys on par with the Eagles when it's not even remotely possible to do that. That is what I take offense to. That is it. Nick should have went for it on 4th down in the Super Bowl instead of kicking a field goal. Yeah, I mean that was something I do remember, and I'm not living in the past anymore. Let's hope he's learned from that. For sure. Yeah, exactly. And no offense, Travis. I love you, man. I appreciate you checking in every day. But we don't root for injuries on this show. We don't root for players injuring other players. Bad karma. That's not what we're doing. Let's just be better than everybody else. That's what I prefer. All right, so let's dive into my power rankings here, and then we'll get into why I think the Eagles deserve to be one over the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to get into that in a second. A couple of these comments here before we start talking about 3 people voted for the butt crack snap. That's pathetic. Pathetic, Peanut. Um, the Dolphins, Waddle, and Hill are crazy. They are, but they've got losses on their schedule. They got blown out by your Bills. No Phillies talk. We are going to talk to Phillies. I've got an uneasy feeling in my gut right now. But we are getting started. Look, yesterday, put Phillies in the picture, put Phillies in the title of the show, and I barely cracked 100 views. We normally push 200, 250 views on this show between live and replay. We barely cracked 100 on replay yesterday. So we're going to get to Phillies, but we got to start Eagles. We got to build that algorithm up, and then, and then, and then we'll get to some Phillies talk. The T-shirt for Kittle was kind of the player plumber tradition that player 90s did the same exact thing. Okay. Craypool is crazy. Um, so Phil, if your Super Bowl and Mahomes is hurt for the game, it really would not make you happy. Of course, I don't want to play. No, it's not that. I'm just not rooting for them to hurt a player. That's all I'm talking about. What is up, Drew? How you doing this morning? Um, if you're lactose intolerant, you can't trust your gut. I might be. I've never been tested, but yeah, I might be. Um, for sure. All right. So yes, I've got the Eagles number one in my power rankings, followed by the other undefeated team, the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think there's any argument that one or the other should be number one and number two in this poll. Number three, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs, still the Super Bowl favorites, still the best team in the AFC, possibly the best team in the NFL, but they do have one loss on their schedule, and they didn't look clean last week either in their win. So put them at three. Dolphins at four. I'm holding that Bills loss against them, making their first appearance in the top five. The Detroit Lions. Detroit's playing great football, and we talk about Nick Sirianni. Dan Campbell's doing a great job building a culture over there in Detroit. So that's that. Six, the Seahawks, they got bumped up by default. Bills, after their loss this weekend in Jacksonville, they got bumped down to seven. Buccaneers hanging in there because of their great defense. I went Ravens nine, Jaguars back into the top 10. I did post my honorable mention Colts, Cowboys, and Chargers because look, the Colts, I'm not sure if they're good or not. The Cowboys are still a good team. They just got two horrendous losses on their card. And the Chargers, I don't know. They're the second best team in the AFC West, but that's not saying much. So that's my power rankings. That's where I've got them. Don't be intolerant. Milk had feelings. It does, and I still give it love. Parsons being all childish is given. I'm glad we skipped Parsons in the draft. Jalen Hurts would have hit in the head for being such a baby. Yeah, I'll still take Micah Parsons on this team. He's still one of the best edge rushers slash linebackers in the league. Um, but yeah, there's some childness. The fact that we know that Micah Parsons wants to play in Philly and he's only in his third year in Dallas. Um, why anybody would want to play in Dallas, I have no idea. Dallas is just a complete and total train wreck of an organization without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to go this way because you guys want to see my pretty face. I know that. The Lions are a scary sleeper team. Peanut, I do not disagree. I was chit chatting with Jason Sullivan, my man from Detroit there, and he's just so excited right now to have positive football in his city. He says they're trending in the right direction. He agrees and admits they're not on the 49ers or Eagles level yet, but he said he would put them up against all the other NFC teams. Um, and I think he's right on that. I think he's right in saying a little bit more experience, a little bit more, time under the belt for some of the young kids on that team, um, that they're going to get there. And they're going to be a damn good team. They got a lot of good young talent, a coach that players are buying into. They just need more experience. And they got a quarterback that's already played in the Super Bowl. Um, the Dolphins got Claypool. Yeah, I know, and that doesn't mean anything because Claypool is nothing in my opinion. Wait, give me your top five again. It's still on the screen. I'll make it bigger for you if you need it. Eagles, 49ers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Lions. Um, Judlin, what's up, my man? Eagles, Niners, Chiefs, Dolphins, Lions. I think mine and yours. I think we're right on this. I think it's not a big reach the way I did. This week we'll tell the story if the Eagles, dude, the Jets are not a good team. We're gonna beat the Jets. Reddick is getting hot now. Reddick is getting very hot. He's getting healthy. And look, Reddick, even though we could blame the injury for Reddick's slow start this year, but Reddick had a slow start last year. He didn't get his first sack till game 3 last year. So, and he still ended with 16 and a half, whatever it was, sacks. So let's not dwell too much in the slow start from Hassan Reddick. He's getting going now, which is what matters. Lions are top 10. You roll with Eminem, you get lots of groupie love. Look, I'm a huge Eminem fan, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I will be there for the Jets game. Are they as wild as people say they are? I have no idea. I've never been to a Jets game, Peanut. Maybe. Do they even say that they're wild? I didn't even know anybody ever called it a wild place to go. Reddick's got a thumb again. We're back. Yeah, his thumb. He's like Deadpool. It regrew. It just took a little time for it to regrow. So he's back, and our defense is better for it. Um, Bills lost Daquan Jones. The Bills lost a lot of players. I mean, they're basically rolling out a practice squad team at this point. Um, but anyway, I want to talk about this Eagles over the 49ers part of my power rankings here. Did you see the leg twist Hurts did? I didn't at first. I was thinking he took a bit. You're talking about the big run he had where he juked and had that big gain. Um, I remember watching that play live, Travis, and thinking, man, he took a hard hit to the shoulders or the collarbone or whatever he broke last year. And then I saw the replay on Monday on social media, and I'm like, how? So his knee, his leg, his ankle. I saw a hyperextension. I saw a knee bend in a way it didn't bend. I saw an ankle roll, and he came away scot clean. Woo! We dodged the bullet, and that's exactly why I don't want him running right there, Travis. Um, but man, I mean, when you watch that play over in slow motion, you just go, thank God. Thank God he's okay. Good morning. Good morning. Blah, 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 blah. I can't speak this morning. Good morning. Glad to see you here. Again, everybody tuning in. We got lots of people tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Free to do. Give me your thoughts. Why are the Eagles better than the 49ers? And why are they ranked higher than the 49ers? Oh, to be 25 again. K1 and 25. I don't even remember what life was like at 25. Man, I was signing a pizza shop lease, man. Can I go back and tell my 25-year-old self, don't do it. Don't do it. I wish. I wish. Why do I have the Eagles over the 49ers? Let's think about the San Francisco 49ers again. You know, we can look at the Eagles and who they've played and who they've beaten. But why don't we look at the 49ers schedule? Week 1, they smoked the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, I hate to tell you guys, Kenny Pickett's not it. The Steelers are a well-coached team. They're a good organization, but they're not a good football team. Okay? They're an okay football team. Week 2, they barely get by the Rams. The same Rams team that we beat by 9. They barely get by the Rams. Okay, yes, tough division, matchup, whatnot. Then they go and smoke the Giants. We still haven't played the Giants yet. Then they go and smoke the Cardinals. Coming off of a big win over the Cowboys, that Cardinals team, and they smoke the Cardinals. So far they've beaten through, and then week 5 they smoked the Cowboys, which that's a big win. Smoking the Cowboys is a big win. That's without a doubt. But out of their 5 games, they've really had one dominating win. That really matters. Now they're going up against the Browns this week in Cleveland, coming off Cleveland's bye. Look, this 49ers schedule, the 49ers might go 15-2. Honestly, they got the Browns, the Vikings, the Bengals who are coming back, the Jags, the Bucks, Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks again, obviously Cardinals again. Dude, they got the Commanders on their schedule, the Rams. Their schedule is not tough. 49ers are frauds. I wouldn't call them frauds per se, but what I'm going to say is that they're not. It's not like they're beating world beater teams. They're playing okay teams. They're playing mid teams, and they're beating them. Give us the Giants and the Cardinals. Let's see how we do before you say that the 49ers are better. We beat the Bucks handily. We beat the Rams easier than they did. You know, we've played Washington, our division rival, who's an okay team, not a good team, an okay team. Like, you match who we've played up against them, and our schedule's been much more difficult. And we've beaten some of these teams a little easier than they have. So I'm giving a slight edge on the schedule to the Eagles. Both of the schedules have been mediocre at best. But wouldn't you agree? I mean, at least they've beaten the Giants and the Cardinals. You know, we haven't had a Giants or Cardinals type team yet. So in the Vikings, I mean, the Vikings win for the Eagles. Let's be honest. The Vikings, they're turning into a bad team and a disaster. Justin Jefferson, like I said, I tweeted out yesterday, Justin Jefferson might not play the rest of this year. But, you know, at first, you know, the Vikings were coming off a 13 or 12 win season when we beat them with a lot of hype and Justin Jefferson and whatnot. So I'm going to give the Eagles the edge in having the harder schedule through 5 weeks. I'm just ready to shut the Niners up December 3rd because we clearly better at quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, tie. Trench is way better. Defense, tie. I'll give them the slight edge on defense, barely, but slight edge. Um, a slight edge on the trenches. Tight end, tie, sure. Wide receiver, I think the wide receiver is closer than you do. The quarterback is way better for us, and I'll take our coach over them too. Matt Milano, the Eagles crusher, maybe best linebacker probably done for career. That is very, very unfortunate. Unfortunately, um, Niners are physical, are physical than AFC team, but we are most physical. Number one in the trenches. I put Landon Dickerson on the thumbnail of the show. That thumbnail is the picture that you see on YouTube before you click on the show, and it takes me time every day to decide who to put on it, what to put on it. I think about it a lot, and Landon Dickerson might not help the algorithm as much as maybe Jalen Hurts would if I put his face or AJ Brown on it. But I saw a tweet yesterday. We talk about the trenches and the offensive line all the time, and all the credit goes to Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. A lot of talk goes toward Jordan Mailata because of story. But I put Landon Dickerson on today's thumbnail because I don't think enough credit goes to how damn good Landon Dickerson is. He's one of, if not, the best left guard in football already. He's been in the league for 2 years, 2+ years now. Came out of college, fell to the second round because of issues injury wise. And let's be honest, he had 3 or 4 straight season ending injuries in college at Alabama. So there was a risk taking him at 37 in 2021. But Jeff Stoutland knew, and the guys that evaluate this talent knew that there was something to mold there. He was drafted to be Jason Kelsey's replacement, just like Cam Jurgens was. And Kelsey decides not to retire, so he slides the guard and has become. He is number one in the NFL in guards in rushing, run blocking. He's number 4 in pass blocking in the NFL of guards. Well, actually, not even guards and centers. I think is what the stat was. Interior offensive lineman, which counts centers. So he is the best run blocking interior lineman in the NFL this year. The 4th best pass blocking interior lineman. We do not give enough credit to Landon Dickerson and what he has become as a guard in the NFL. And I think we need to give him more credit at that. And we say we win the trenches. Man Chatter, isn't that we brought in Patricia as a special consultant. Niners D is considerably better, to be fair. I think it is. I think it's more well-rounded, better secondary and whatnot. There's less holes on their defense. Our defensive line might be better with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick, and whatnot. But the overall defense might be better. Vikings are bottom 5 now, but we did not think that at the start of the season. I still had them winning the division. So, you know, our D is the proverbial work in progress. So we're going to get into that D in a second because I got into it a little bit with a lot of people on social media yesterday, not like troll-wise, but like argument-wise. I want to get into that defense in a second. 49ers system works well for meh and good quarterbacks. I agree with you for sure with that. I'm a huge Dickerson fan. He is going to be a future fan favorite. But see, here's the thing: like he should be a fan favorite now. I mean, with his overalls, his good old country boy. You know, you see it. You think of him, and you think of him riding a tractor. You know, like cowboy hat, like with a big straw hay thing hanging out of his mouth. Like he should be a fan favorite already. He's that damn good. Um, Dickerson was a home run draft pick. It was, but honestly, there was some risk there with his injury history. There was risk there, but so far, knock on wood, they've kept him healthy. He's learned a new position on the fly, and in 2 years, he's become the best at that position. It's unheard of. Hell, before Cam Jurgens went down, he was turning into a really solid right guard too. It's crazy how quickly he turned around Landon Dickerson. That's what everyone is saying because I think Patricia was given a job in Philly as a favor for Belichick for trying to make him an offensive coordinator last season, killing his career. I don't know what the deal was with Patricia. I don't even know. Where did Patricia come up? If Jets had 49ers schedule, they'd be undefeated by a lot. Stop. You keep hyping this Jets team up. The Jets aren't that good. Okay, guys, 49ers fans, we are getting better week by. We're not saying we're fans. We're just trying to give them credit. We're trying to be realistic here. They got Bosa, Warner. We got Cox Carr Davis. Absolutely. Look, Slay and Bradbury have trended down a little bit the last couple of weeks. And a lot of sleepers on our team, plus the depth best in the NFL. Look, we're not saying anything. We're just saying it's a little closer than you. It could go either way on the defensive side, Travis. 49ers versus the Eagles. They have some really great players, so do we. But we got holes in the secondary, and I'm going to transition right to that. So yesterday, a rumor started floating around from one of the big wigs in the sports media world, because I'm not a big wig, maybe to the core 12, but nobody else in the world. That Marcel Hardman was being made available by the Jets in a trade. And every Eagles fan up and down, hell, even the Philadelphia Sports Network, check out phillysportsnetwork.com, the website for this great channel that I'm a part of. Great writers, great Eagles coverage. Even did an article saying that Marcel Hardman should be a target for the Eagles to upgrade Quez Watkins. And I instantly said, no, no, no. Why would you go out and make a trade for Marcel Hardman? Like, Quez Watkins hasn't been great. I get that. The Eagles like Quez Watkins. The ownership does, the management does, the coaches do, Jalen Hurts does. Why would you go out and trade for Marcel Hardman, another underwhelming speedster wide receiver, to upgrade your underwhelming speedster wide receiver, when you've got holes on this defense? Would I be upset if they got Marcel Hardman? No. It's not going to cost you much, maybe a 6th-round pick. But why are we focused on upgrading wide receiver when there's already not enough balls to go around? There's already too many mouths to feed. If A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, God forbid, got hurt, Hardman's not filling their shoes any more than Quez Watkins will or would. Why all of a sudden is everybody so focused on Marcel Hardman when you should be focusing in on the Denver Broncos and Simmons or Surtain or Chin or Buda Baker, any of these guys, to fix the biggest weakness on this team, which is the safety slash slot cornerback position? And everybody coming up in arms because saying, I don't think the upgrade to Hardman is worth it when you've got bigger holes to fill. That, to me, was really frustrating yesterday. If you are the Vikings, do you entertain trading Kirk Cousins? Absolutely. I thought I mentioned it yesterday, or maybe I was thinking about it. Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo. Who else out there? Kyler Murray. There's quite a few quarterbacks that could, probably won't, because you don't see that many quarterbacks get traded at the deadline, but could be on the block at this deadline. And if they're not, they will be at the end of the season. There's a lot of teams that could use a Kirk. Look, Kirk Cousins of the Giants would upgrade the Giants immediately because Daniel Jones is a train wreck. When Kelsey retires, Lori needs to hire him as their O-line scout. Interesting, because I don't know if this is where you're going, HC, with this, but Jason Kelsey personally put his stamp of approval on the Landon Dickerson draft pick when it happened. It came out that was said. And then he moved over to Garden State. And then he personally put his stamp of approval on Cam Jurgens to be his replacement. He's like constantly approving all these guys to be his replacement, then keeping his job, and they're turning into great linemen elsewhere on the line. So yeah, Kelsey should definitely scout offensive linemen for sure. Cole Beasley is back, and the Giants running back just in time for the wounded Bill. Phil's medium-sized wig. What? I do need a haircut. I do know that. How we should trade for a cornerback and a safety, without a doubt. Why are we worrying about a backup wide receiver when we have massive starting holes in our secondary? I don't get what's this wig stuff. I don't understand what's going on with this wig comment. I'm missing a lot today in the shows, probably. Obviously, Quez is as good as Hardman, or no? Quez is not maybe as good, but he's close. There's not much of a difference. Like, really, there isn't. It's not worth the upgrade. Good morning, Eric. How you doing this morning? Who's the Vikings tight end? Go get him. Yeah, TJ Hawkinson. They just traded for him. Gave him a big extension. Eric, Nana. Yeah. Avant and Mikel podcast on Inside the Bird said Robbie was the missing key to our secondary, which is why they shut the Rams down in the second half, basically. They couldn't score. Yeah, I mean, maybe. And Travis, it was a great adjustment, without a doubt. by Sean Desai, putting him in. Look, there were rumors that he wasn't really going to play at all because he had just gotten to the team on Wednesday. Really hadn't even learned the playbook much. Had practiced once, I think, with the team. Um, so that's why they went with Ricks and Goodrich and Ricks in the first half. They obviously weren't the deal. Then you saw Robbie the entire second half, and they did. It changed massively. Um, I don't know if we're set though. I still don't buy Justin Evans. I still don't buy Sidney Brown as being enough in the secondary. Look, we're playing mid teams right now. When we start going up against the 49ers, when we start going up against the Bills, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, because again, the Cowboys are still a solid team. Maybe not as good as I thought they were, but they're still a solid team. We still need help in that secondary. And we're one James Bradbury or Darius Slay injury from going back to needing Goodrich out there or Josh Joby out there. I don't even think I saw Josh Joby on the field on Sunday. I'm thinking, I don't think I did, which is good because he needed a break. I wish the Bears or Cards would offer a pick for Quez. To me, we have our third wide receiver in the building. It's not Quez. So you're talking about OZ. That's fine, but then who's your fourth wide receiver? Look, I'm not saying that Marcel Hardman isn't a slight minuscule upgrade over Quez Watkins. And I'm not saying Quez Watkins is the real deal. But trading for a third or fourth wide receiver at this point in the season, when you already have too many mouths to feed and not enough balls to go around, if you want to quote me on that one there, it makes no sense to bring in a guy that doesn't know the playbook when you got plenty of guys that know the playbook and are serviceable here. That's like the weakest area or the least worrying area of this team. Kirk Cousins will be gone in a week. It's possible. It's possible. When's the Vikings bye? I don't know. That would be a good time for them to move on from their quarterback. That's exactly where I was going. I'm glad we're on the same page. Phil, need to visit them Clippers. I do. This hair is getting out of control. The beard's getting out of control. I just don't have the time. You make allusion to media bigwigs, hence the wisecracks. Um, oh, oh. I thought you're talking about my haircut, man. Look, the media bigwigs. I crush them. Sometimes I give them credit. Hey, it is what it is. They're the people that get 50,000 views when I'm struggling to get 200 views. We need to figure out why Bradbury and Play are playing a little bit off their normal game. It could be the D line isn't getting to the quarterback as much as last year. It could be, and I think this is really interesting, Duck. And it's something we could dive into. And if you guys want to put your comments on Duck's comment here, I greatly appreciate it because I don't know. Is it that they're both north of 30 and they're slowing down? Is it the new defensive scheme that Sean Desai is running? They're not used to it yet. Is it that the defensive line leads the league in almost sacks? Is it a combination of two or all three of those? And I think it goes into a little bit of all of it, Duck. They're not used to the new scheme. The defensive line isn't getting home. And look, they're getting older. We all know as we get older, we lose a step every day. We do. And I think that's potentially part of it to an extent. Yeah, I love the Q&A show, Avant and Mike. I've never listened to the Avant and Michael show. I'll have to give it if they let the fans get interactive. Maybe I will have to give it a. Let me know in the comments when they do their show, and I'll have to make sure I mark it down and give it a check out. 49ers don't really have a great wide receiver group. Deebo Samuel is a very good wide receiver in my opinion. I think he's misused in San Francisco and forced to be a running back. And I think Brandon Ayuk's actually a very good wide receiver and underrated. He would be a very solid 2 on a lot of teams. So I'm a fan of Brandon Ayuk. He's a guy that Peanut sniped for me in fantasy last year. I'm still not over that. Not enough balls to go around would make a dope shirt. Yeah, I can get a little graphic with. Not enough. I'm gonna write that down. I'm just writing down balls shirt. I'm gonna try to come up with a way to. Don't look at my notebook because that would be interesting. We don't need a fourth wide receiver with Swift and Gainwell as options. Yeah, Eric, I get that, but we heard all offseason, all camp, how much Swift was going to catch. Oh, let me find my Eagles stat sheet here. I got to find this because I feel like DeAndre Swift has barely caught a ball out of the backfield this year. Like they said they were going to use him a lot, and they're not. DeAndre Swift, he's got 15 catches in 5 games. That's more than I actually thought. Kenneth Gainwell's got 8 in 5 games. So 23 catches in 5 games. Basically 4.5 a game from our running backs. Not what we thought it was going to be. Now, obviously, A.J. Brown's got 35 catches. That's a huge part of it. You know what I mean? But it's interesting. Interesting you bring that up because we haven't seen that. When is Maddox coming back? Not at all this year, Travis. He is done for the season. And it's something that's a shame because I've tried to talk about it. I've tried to bring that up so many times on this show that Maddox never gets talked about being injury prone, but he's hurt every single year. And when healthy, he's one of the best slot corners, but he's not healthy. As Ed Kratz says, you can't make the club from the tub. Avonte Maddox won't be here next year. In my opinion, he will not be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. Maddox is gone. He is never healthy for more than half the season. Exactly. Duck, they're 32 and 34, so they're kind of saving their energy as we're 5-0, so smart to play that. It could be that they're saving their energy, Travis. It could be. That could be just another part of it. But the 32 and 34 part of it is what's concerning. I thought they were 30 and 32. I'm not going to fact check you there. I hope you're right on that. The Q&A is pre-recorded, but they take comments from the comments of previous shows. Okay. I hate pre-recorded shows. I love the live interaction here. I used to do pre-recorded shows. I used to do shows with 3-4 people on the screen with me at a time and not focus. This is so much more entertaining. Doing shows where I interact with you guys. This is why I get up every morning. And now we went from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to now doing 90 minutes a day because of you guys and the way you guys interact with me. So I prefer these kind of shows, not just because I'm hyping myself up. They're using Swift and Gainwell as the swing out wide receiver option where Hurts sees something, but a pro wide receiver need it when playing. Yeah, we just haven't seen it as much as I expect. Come on, like you didn't think that Duck, like the way you heard it, that Gainwell or Swift was going to end up with like 30 or like 40 plus catches this year. It's just not the way it's going to go. But I really felt that that's the way they were hyping it up. Guys, real quick, we're at 28, 30 people watching, 19 likes on YouTube right now, 4 on Facebook. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and smash that subscribe button so you're here every single morning with me doing what we do best, talking the sports. Will Hurts ever learn how to pass the ball without setting his feet when he's chased out of the pocket to the left? I don't know. He still does it pretty well, the way he does do it. Yes, Swift has an EF load of receiving yards last year. Brian Johnson's overthinking this all-around offensive weaponry. And again, that was like the kind of the opening topic of the show before we got into the power rankings, is that Brian Johnson is still learning and still getting comfortable in the offense of play calling duties. It takes time. You know, he's got his philosophies. Jalen Hurts was used to Shane Steichen's philosophies, and Shane Steichen's doing a great job in Indy now, and they're playing well. So that's why Colts are in my honorable mentions. Another win, the Colts might make my top 10. But I have confidence that they're using this weaker early part of the schedule to kind of get everything comfortable offensive play calling wise. And yes, as the season gets tougher, they'll have a good rhythm as the season goes on. Good morning, Reality Check. I gotta get your name, Reality Check. I don't know. I hate calling you Reality Check. Side note, I'm a big Roddy Piper fan growing up wrestling wise. And he had later in his career, he went to a shirt called Reality Check, and that was his gimmick. He'd give people reality checks. I love reality. Whenever I see the word your name pop up in the comments, I think of Roddy Piper. Bradbury just turned 30. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I think Slay's 32 or 33. But still, they're both north of 30. They're both on the back end of their careers versus the front end of their careers, just the point that we're trying to make there with them. I think Slay just gets burnt every so often. Yeah, he's lost a step. That's all there is to it. I'll still take our 2 cornerbacks, James Bradbury and Darius Slay, on the outside over almost every other team's duo. You know, you can't find a duo that's that good. You know, they might have a better one, but not a better complement to them. Swift will get 30 catches this season. He'll get to 30 probably. That's why I kind of switched in the middle of saying that to 40. He's at 15 right now through 5 games. Will he get to 40 or 45? It'll be a stretch, in my opinion. because they're just not using them that much. The check down pass to the running back is an art form. It takes a while to develop. Tom Brady was a master of it. Yeah, what was Mister? What was that guy? What was that little that third down running back that they used to always have? He had like a super long career in New England there. And he went somewhere else and was terrible, then went back to New England with Brady and was fine again. They would check it down to him all the time. And he was not a good running back, but he was so good at the check down pass. He always knew to be in the right place for Tom Brady. And that was something that's not getting enough credit from Sunday's game is when Kenneth Gainwell had the chip block and then then Hurts needed somebody to check down to, slid off the block, got into a nice spot, caught a little dump down pass from Jalen Hurts, and then was able to break a tackle and get a huge first down run. Huge, huge, huge moment of the game that's not getting talked about. Please tell him to chill with the bubble screens. The wide receiver bubble screens need to stop. Um, although the one to Quez Watkins was perfectly done, perfectly set up, perfectly blocked. Quez Watkins just screwed the pooch on the block on the running of it and the following through on where the blocks were. Why don't we use more motion? K1, I've been talking about that for 1,000 years. The Eagles just don't use motion. Even if you don't, the motion doesn't lead to anything. You watch what the Rams do and what Sean McVay does over the last 5 years, 6 years, and he runs a lot of dipsy doos, but still a pretty straightforward offense. But those dipsy doos, those pre-snap motions create so much confusion for defense. And it'd be a wrinkle I would love, love, love to see more in the Eagles offense. Yeah, if you're looking at where Johnson is in his development as offensive coordinator, Amir Stikers, I agree with this 1,000%. 1,000%. The thing is, though, when Steichen was developing, he wasn't calling the plays at first. He took over. So Brian Johnson was the play caller from day one. And I'm fine with that. But they're about the same trajectory. And that's about the point in 2021 when Shane Steichen finally got comfortable week 7, week 8. We started winning games and made our trek to the playoffs. So, yeah, Piper. I was a huge Hot Rod fan. Loved him. Loved him. Eric saying, you think Swift will start catching more after the bye week? That's when the team will hit their execution stride. I just don't know if it's as much of the game plan as people think it was, or as much as the Eagles hoped it would be. That's what I think it is. He's more than capable of doing it. The ball's just not going there. The play calling is not going there. Johnson is learning. I'm good with it. We are going to have some ups and downs while he figures it out. I just feel he's making it more complicated than it has to be. And I agree with that. I agree with all that you said there, Reality Check. I really do. I just think that, you know, he just needs to not. I think the ups and downs. I think the learning on the fly. That's all fine. I just don't want him to make it so complicated. I need somebody. That's why you needed another veteran presence. Like you brought in Matt Patricia, who we met. His name got mentioned in the comments a little bit ago on the defensive side of the ball to give Sean Desai a veteran voice. You know, a veteran coach, whether you like him or not, he's a guy that's been there, done that. The offensive coaching staff needed a veteran voice that Brian Johnson could have leaned on for advice from time to time. Just call me AK, bro. AK is for Alaska. Gotcha. We'll just call you Reality Check. Reality Check's better than AK. Sorry. We all talk smack about Slay until he embarrasses the offensive player of the year at number 2. Yeah, look. We're not talking smack on Darius Slay. We're just saying that maybe the secondary has regressed a smidge. We're still 5-0. We've still held Justin Jefferson and Terry McLaurin relatively in check this year. I'm not bad-mouthing Darius Slay whatsoever. I just said I would rather take Slay and Bradbury combo over any other combo in the NFL probably at this point. But it's not to say that we still can't potentially upgrade the depth at the cornerback position. That's all I'm trying to say. Can't have Josh Norman. He was washed at 32, but now 35 he's fire. Yeah, you love your Josh Norman. Slay's still an elite corner, though. He's going to make important stops and grab a pick in between getting up one big play. And exactly. I give mad props to Darius Slay. And I give mad props to Howie Roseman for bringing in Darius Slay. think about it. We talk about all the trades Howie Roseman's made. Have we given enough credit for Howie Roseman for trading a third and fifth round draft pick for Darius Slay, and then Darius Slay, what he's done here in Philly? Um, it's hilarious. It doesn't get enough credit at all. Yeah, what time is it, Alaska? 4 a.m. And he's up. What are you doing up at 4 a.m.? Like, I have no clue. I will say I've been to Alaska many a times. I worked for about 9 weeks on an Alaskan cruise ship. Alaska's a beautiful place, man. Beautiful. Ketchikan, Juneau, Seaward, all the little other places I've been to. It's beautiful, man. Um, how you doing? How you doing? Old time sakes. Did I used to say that? I don't remember saying that. How you doing? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, mad props to AK for waking up at 4 a.m. Um, he just failed to get 2 yards. Um, let's get catch up on some of these comments here. We have already proven that Watkins couldn't screw anything. Yeah, that's what. See, I'm so far behind in the comments. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're back to the Quez Watkins thing. That's what the 2 yards was. We have already proven that Watkins couldn't screw anything because he doesn't know what to do. Oh my god! Again with the PG-13 comments, maybe the rated R comments. I love it. I'm not fast enough this early in the morning to come up with that kind of stuff. I think Quez is smoking nowadays. He looked like Snoop Dogg out there. Um, Yeah, maybe. He's doing something. He's gotta be better. He's gotta be better. Um, he's smoking because of our third down play calling. We were like 13 and 18 on third down last week, Judd. So I don't know what you're smoking, but it was pretty good. Um, what we did on third down last week. I might need a new liver if we can't get these red zone issues ironed out. Again, play call. We gotta have confidence that Brian Johnson figures this out. We do. Exactly. We were so good, on third down. Um, Brian Johnson press conference kindly slow, so he has that, co man, we are getting out of control and wild on these comments. AJ, but not, Quez, yeah. I'm surprised Jalen Carter hasn't gotten one yet, with the way he's been playing. Um stayed in Fairbanks, Alaska for 2 years. That's a long time. I don't know where Fairbanks is exactly in Alaska. If it's a port city, then I've probably been near it or in it. Whether you feel we've fallen off or not, blah 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 blah. They are right with the 49ers. So yeah, this is the whole point of this whole conversation today, is that we're right there with the 49ers. And I think we've made enough of an argument at this point to understand that the Eagles are on par, if not better than the 49ers at this point. Yeah, I'm in Kenoi, 2 hours south of Anchorage. Okay, okay. Yeah, I was based out of, Seward, Alaska, and we would do up and down. We'd also do a little Vancouver and Victoria, British Columbia as well. I was transferred there. I did, like, 9 weeks of a season in Alaska on a cruise ship. It was beautiful. After 9 weeks, I was sick and tired of icebergs and mountains, but, it was a beautiful, beautiful country. Well, not country, but you know what I mean, like, area and stuff like that. Beautiful part of our country. Um, it's really nice. Did a lot of cool things up there too. Swift averages like 7, 8 yards a carry, but let's give Kenny Gainwell the ball in third and short. Look, I don't have a problem with giving Kenneth Gainwell the ball, Judlin. My problem is when we give him the ball. It's like a few weeks ago, DeAndre Swift ran the ball like 12 straight plays, or it was the only running back used for an entire drive to start the game, or the first two drives to start. Kenneth Gainwell's first touch of the game came on 3rd and 8, and they ran a draw, like a drive up the middle, H-back dive up the middle with Gainwell on 3rd and long. Guy wasn't in the rhythm of the game yet, and that's the first time you use him? Like, I'm okay if you use him on third down, but let him get in the flow first. Tom Brady's favorite run. Danny Woodhead was one of them. He wasn't the one I was thinking. I thought the guy's name was White is the guy I was thinking of. But Danny Woodhead was definitely one of the check down guys that he loved. Um, Phil RC is an American. He is. He is. Did I say he wasn't? He's very American. I think people sleep on how well we match up with the 49ers. I think we match up great with the 49ers. Brock Purdy's not faced a pass rush like the Eagles are capable of. Brock Purdy hasn't been hit by Jalen Carter yet. We need to give Gainwell the ball and keep Swift healthy throughout the season. Exactly. You want to see the split about what it is. You want to keep Swift healthy. You want to keep Swift ready for the playoffs. I think we do. Our quarterback's better. You know, our offensive line can block their defensive line. Our wide receivers match up against their secondary well. I worry about stopping. Right now, the only thing I worry about with the San Francisco 49ers is stopping Christian McCaffrey. And we are one of, if not the best, run stopping team in the league. But we haven't played against a running back like Christian McCaffrey that could do it all. So I worry about the McCaffrey, the CMC. But outside of that, I think we match up spot on with everyone. What's with the absence of Penny? There's a lot. This is one of those things, just like the game, the Slay and Bradbury conversation. There could be multiple answers to this thing. The first answer, and I really think this is it, Peanut, that he's not part of their plans. He was brought in to be the replacement for Miles Sanders, and then Howie Roseman's like, "Oh crap, DeAndre Swift's available? Sure, I'll take DeAndre Swift." So like, Penny was brought in to upgrade or replace Miles Sanders. Then Howie Roseman found a better replacement for the replacement, and he's just down the depth chart. I think that's plain and simple what it is. He's their fourth best running back, and he's just not being used. Um, his ground and pound style is not. They want a Swift and a Gainwell type that can break 40-yard runs, and Penny might be able to, but that's not his reputation. He's just not as good as DeAndre Swift. Now, he's being kept for now in case somebody goes down. But when Nakobe Dean comes back, and he's going to be back soon, that's another big thing that we could talk about today. Nakobe Dean's practice window was open yesterday. So he's got 3 weeks to come back. He's got to go on the IR for the rest of the year. When he comes back, you're going to have to cut somebody on the roster. It might be Rashad Penny. They don't need 4 running backs at this point. And you can always pick up somebody else down the line. Kenny G is the only running back who doesn't suck in pass protection. K1, comment of the day right here. And this is why you see Kenneth Gainwell used so much on as he does, because he can actually block and he can pick up a blitzer. DeAndre Swift cannot. Boston Scott cannot. I don't know if Rashad Penny can or not, but because we haven't used him. But Kenneth Gainwell is a great blocker as a running back. He knows. I haven't seen him miss a blitzer yet. So this is a huge comment from you, K1. Star to you for that comment right there. Yeah, we went to Seaward for the 4th of July every year. People came from all over the world to run the mountain. There is a lifelong list to enter, and it's like $25K to run. Jeez. Yeah, we really Seaward. I didn't get to see much of Seaward because Seaward was turnaround day, what we call it on a cruise ship. Guests get off, the new guests get on. It's the busiest day for cruise ship workers, no matter what your job is. So I didn't get to see too much of Seaward because it was always turnaround day. But outside of that, I got to see a lot of the rest of Alaska. Got to do dog sledding things, iceberg, rot things, hikes through the mountains. So much I got to see out there in Alaska. It was fantastic, and I drank a massive amount. It hit Alaska. So Christian McCaffrey, yeah, that's the guy I worry about. Penny is like the relief pitcher in the bullpen. Yeah, he's like that guy that's just waiting in the wings, waiting for his opportunity. And if we don't give Rashad Penny an opportunity, that's a good thing. You know why? Not giving Rashad Penny an opportunity means DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell stay healthy all year. That's important, right? So it's almost like it's a benefit that we're not seeing Rashad Penny because it means everybody else is healthy. When the second half of the season rolls around, we will see Penny. Maybe not. If Swift and Gainwell stay healthy and they keep the split right and they stay fresh, you might not see him all year. Swift is clearly better in vision, experience, more elusive receiving speed. Yeah, that exactly. But pass blocking goes to Gainwell, and Penny's there on the sidelines waiting for his opportunity, if needed. Right, K1. Penny week 13 breakout game coming, maybe. And if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that because again, it means everybody's staying healthy. I don't see the 49ers being that much different from last year, other than being more confident and driven. We are more seasoned at our best position with Swift upgrades and Carter. I agree with what you say. Christian McCaffrey's been there the whole year this year versus last year going mid-season. He's the only thing that scares me like massively at an advantage over us. Um, that's it. And I worry about our linebackers stopping them. We'll get into the linebackers here in a second. We need Dean Morrow is such a butterfinger. What do we do with Nakobe Dean when he comes back? I mean, Nicholas Morrow had 2 great games. Then last week he played mid. He was okay. Wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. I don't know what we do with him. We're going to get into that in a second. We're going to reset here for a second. You're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Facebook, we got 4 likes. YouTube, we got 21. It helps the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. We're talking Eagles. We started with the power rankings. We're getting into more details about this Eagles team. In about 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to give you my thoughts on NLCS or NLDS Game 3 tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll get into all that. But let's talk about this. A Dean or Morrow. How can you bench Morrow? But you kind of have to. And that's something that really, really intrigues me on what Sean Desai, what Nick Sirianni are going to do with that situation. Are you just going to have a rotation and then do what Nick Sirianni talked about with the running backs, go with the hot hand? Just going to slot Dean right back in there. I saw somebody tweet out to me yesterday saying that maybe Morrow slides outside because Cunningham has been questionable at times. I think Cunningham has been great this year. Get Penny in the red zone truck, people. We might have a better red zone scoring thing if you got Penny out there. I don't know. Maybe. I think Penny is still not up to speed after being on IR for so long. That could be it. I mean, he was on IR for, 9 weeks last year? Maybe. Should be taking those third down runs because he's only true. Yeah, I mean, maybe the injury, the recovery from the injury is part of it. It really could be part of it. I never thought about that. Gainwell's our best pass blocking running back. If Brian Johnson wants to keep an extra blocker in, yeah, that's exactly. I think we figured that one out. There's no doubt. And again, that play that he had the big first down catch on, he picked up a blitzer, gave Jalen Hurts time to roll out, and then not only did he pick up the blitzer, he knew when it was time to shed the blitzer and get out into the field to make a big catch for Jalen Hurts. So he does both those things really, really well. Can crew guys just chill some days? Um, uh, at my house? You don't want to come to my house. I got too many dogs running around this place. But you can come to the pizza shop anytime you want. I enjoy talking to ladies. If Miami ladies are hot, is Alaska icy hot? In the summertime, there's like a 3-minute stretch of the summer where they actually have summer weather. So there's that. The Niners only added our pass rusher Hargrave. So he right. Yeah, they added Hargrave, and we replaced Hargrave with Jalen Carter. Which again, I talked about Landon Dickerson. I don't think enough credit goes to what Jalen Carter is capable of. He is already one of the best defensive tackles in football, one of the best defensive players in football. I was texting with my buddy Jason last night. We were talking about the Detroit Lions, and he brought up Brian Branch, and he had hoped that Jalen Carter would have fallen to Detroit where they took Gibbs last in the draft, which I'm like, yeah, no way. But we were talking about Jalen Carter, and he said to me, and I said to him, that when Aaron Donald calls it quits eventually, this year, next year, whatever, Jalen Carter is going to be the face of the defense of the NFL. He's that good. He's a smart dude. He puts a lot of work in on a daily basis. He was talking about watching 5 hours of Matthew Stafford film on the flight to L.A. He's scary looking. He's like all of it put together. He's the complete package, Jalen Carter. And he's an Eagle. I love it. I love it. It's so great to see. In all honesty, I don't care about our halfbacks. I'm used to running back by committee. The day we actually have a third down halfback, I don't know what I'll do. But I love Swift. Look, we all love DeAndre Swift. I love it. I love DeAndre Swift, and I hope he stays healthy and is here for a long time in Philly. I hope Howie Roseman finds a cheap way to extend him. I do. And I said it before the season. Consider extending him for like 2 years, for a couple million a year. And now as he gets better and better, more effective, it's more and more expensive. So it'll be interesting to see if they find a way. It's not Morrow. It's not Marlowe. We're not watching The Wire. Play the hot hand at linebacker. Maybe. I wasn't mad at Nick Morrow last week. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at him for the dropped interception like others. I mean, I would have liked him to do it. But He actually graded out PFF really well last week. I was talking with Shane Half from the Painted Lines or from Chalk Talk and Bleeding Green Nation a little bit, and I said I saw some missed tackles, and I guess he missed the tackles, but didn't physically like register as a missed tackle. So he graded out really well last week, but the eye test just wasn't there last week. He had a trending down week versus the previous. I mean, it was hard to match the week before when he had 3 sacks and 11 tackles. So do Niners have a backup quarterback because we got some heat? They aren't seeing nothing like Carter and Davis together. I don't know who is the 49ers backup quarterback. Um, I don't even, not even sure. I could pull that up really quick. I'd be really curious to know if they actually finally decide to invest in a backup. Sam Darnold is their backup quarterback. Oh, oh man, Sam Darnold is their backup quarterback. Desai doesn't bring Dean back, then I can't trust this defense coordinator who can't make up his mind. Dean was clearly the guy all year long. He was the guy all year long for like 1 week. He got hurt like what? End of week 1, beginning of week 2, whatever it was. Dean is the guy. Dean should be the guy. But Nicholas Morrow's played really well in that fill-in role. That's all I'm bringing up here. It's a really tough call. But if Dean is your guy for the future, which he's supposed to be, you kind of got to roll with Dean. But then if he's having a bad game or the matchup's not right and he's getting exposed, then you slide Morrow in there. Maybe that's just the way you go. Or Nakobe Dean's got an injury history. I mean, he was injured in college. That's why one of the main reasons why he fell to us in the 3rd round. Maybe you just put Nakobe Dean on a pitch clock, just like you're rotating Swift and Gainwell. Maybe Nakobe Dean plays 60% of the snaps and Morrow plays 40%, something like that to help keep Dean fresh. Maybe that's the route to take. I feel Le'Veon Bell vibes watching Swift run. I heard one of the announcers say that too, and I'm like, it's interesting. Kenny has a change of pace back, and that's fine, but Swift is another level. Yeah, I mean, outside of the pass blocking, DeAndre Swift does everything else better than Kenny Gainwell. The thing is, the pass blocking is a big part of a team that passes the ball a lot. Morrow had that dropped interception. He couldn't grab the sack fumble. Dude's got bigger bricks for hands than Aguilar. I saw somebody put together a Nelson Aguilar highlight reel of drops from the Ravens in the last week or two. And man, he is not having a good run with the Ravens right now. To me, Dean should be brought back slowly and re-earn his position. Yeah, I mean, I think he's the starter, but I think you could go with the pitch clock and the rotation to an extent. Um, yeah. You want to do a cruise? You want us all to do a cruise together? Are you paying for that? Have you seen the prices of cruises lately? I'm not going to drag Morrow too much on the interception, but you got to fall on that loose ball. Agreed. And there were a couple times running backs gave him a little juke. I didn't like it. Don't fix what's not broken. I love Dean. Got to meet him in person. Great young man, but Marlon and Cunningham are balling. I'm not messing with the chemistry right now. And I think that's a fair comment. And there's an argument to be made. You're right there, AK Reality Check. Um, there's definitely an argument to be made here, for sure. I haven't seen much from Dean. The team's very high on him. The pedigree is there as well, Jalen. Um, yeah, there's an argument to be made there. But he's supposed to be the future. So, with that being said, you kind of got to give him at least some form of a chance. Still, man, I got to rewatch The Wire. So do I. Actually, last night sat down when I got home from work about 8:15. I just put HBO Max on my smart TV, and I'm like, what am I going to watch? There's no football on. There's no baseball on. No Phillies game on. No Sixers game on. I'm like, I should go back and at least start rewatching The Wire because it's a fantastic show. One of the 3 best shows of all time came on. And it's the only I've rewatched The Sopranos 4 times. I watch highlights of The Sopranos. Like I've never gone back and rewatched The Wire. Like I really got to rewatch it because it was a fantastic piece of television. Yeah, Sam Darnold, a really great quarterback. Aguilar and his mishaps. Yeah, his lack of good hands for sure. Guys, don't give up on Dean because he stayed behind Edwards and lost his opportunity. Put yourself in his shoes. He deserves the spot. All right. So, Travis, and this is one thing I want to say. I don't think anybody anywhere I hate the word deserves in sports, especially when people say they deserve a title or they deserve that title or they deserve an award. I think you got to earn it. Um, He was behind Edwards last year, and he was the heir apparent to the position this year. And he's got a great pedigree. He was one of the best linebackers in college at Georgia. Um, but Nicholas Morrow has played really well filling in. And we've seen it before across college and NFL, all sports, all levels. Sometimes players lose their roles when they get hurt. Um, to me, he's still the starter when he comes back, Travis. But what I'm going to say is that I would put him on a pitch clock, a play snap count, limit, so you can keep him healthy, because that's been his MO. His biggest weakness is staying on the field, and availability is everything in the NFL. You got to be on the field to be a star player. He hasn't been throughout college and now early in his NFL career. Hell, I think he even got hurt on special teams for a little bit last year. So keeping him like to a 60% of the snaps limit might be the way to go, since Nicholas Morrow has played well, at least for the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, so that come the crunch time, come the end of the year in the playoffs, Nakobe Dean's healthy and he's worked his way in. Also, you got to think about Nakobe Dean didn't play all of last year. So some of his underwhelming play in week 1 could be because he didn't play much last year, didn't play in the preseason this year. He's still getting his legs underneath him. So he needs time. So put him on a pitch clock or pitch count and let him work his way up, build his momentum up, build his legs up. And maybe at the end of this year, we'll see what Nakobe Dean's really capable of. Because I think Nakobe Dean could be a Pro Bowl level linebacker. He's just not there yet. And I'm not ready to put him out there 100% again. Morrow doesn't even know the playbook. The Mike linebacker has the green dot and calls the audibles. The Eagles have been lost. Look at all the broken coverage. That's an interesting point. Maybe some of the miscommunication on defense is because of Morrow. And it's funny because I'm sitting here propping Morrow up, and I'm the one on this show that didn't even want Nicholas Morrow making the practice squad, let alone the roster this year. I was so anti Nicholas Morrow before the season started. The Wire is greater than Breaking Bad 110%. Breaking Bad doesn't even fall into my top 5 shows of all time. Yes, I've never watched it, but I know what the show's about. It's The Wire, it's The Sopranos, and it's The Americans. They're the 3 greatest shows in any order you want to put them, without a shadow of a doubt. The Wire is fantastic. Season 2, the doc season with the Polish dock workers, one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched. You can't go wrong with watching The Wire. Yeah, like I really need to go back and rewatch it. It's got to be on my agenda here soon. Um, I don't need 3 sports playing at the same time. Brian Johnson or Javonte Williams. Who should I start this week? Commanders play Falcons. Oh man, that's a tough one right there. I would probably lean towards Brian Johnson. I think the Washington Commanders do have a slight bounce back. I like Brian Johnson in fantasy football. There are so many injuries in fantasy football right now, Eric. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm playing Brian Robinson. Yeah, exactly, K1. Brian Robinson's just got much more he's got much more boom potential than Williams, in my opinion. It's true. He's had that green dot because he's intelligent and all that. But on tape, I haven't seen it. Look, 2 weeks ago, 11 tackles, 3 sacks. He did something. He did something there. I'm not. No one's given up on Dean. I don't think. I think Travis. I think everybody's saying that I'm giving up on Dean is overreacting to my points. I'm just saying Nicholas Morrow has played himself into a role on this team. That's all I'm saying. Our super chat. Yeah, someday. Nakobe was the green dot all offseason and preseason. Except he wasn't in the preseason because he didn't play in the preseason. Maybe in practice he was. He didn't even practice all offseason because he was hurt in the practice. For sure. Not to say he can't still be great. Could be our guy for the next decade. But this season right now, does he make us better? That's the thing. I think he can. I just think he needs more time. More time. That's all. So that's why a snap count, 50-50, 60-40, something like that. Let's build him up. Let's get him there. McLaurin is going to be the guy moving forward in Denver. Absolutely. I tried to pick him up, and I already missed out on picking him up in both of my fantasy football leagues, without a doubt. You think Eagles can hang 30 on the Jets defense? No. Maybe. I haven't. We're not even close to Friday yet. Making predictions. I'm leaning somewhere right in that. I think every week I'm going to be leaning in that 27 to 31 point range for this Eagles team, because that's just how good the offense is on the Eagles. 30's pushing it though. Probably 27, 28, 30, somewhere in that range though is very possible. Yeah, definitely go see if he's if you're in a 10-team league, he might be. If he's available in your league, can I get invited to your league? Because he shouldn't be available in anybody's league at this point. Yep, lots of players have gotten Wally pipped. There's a reason why that phrase is out there. Wally pipped is an underused phrase for sure. The Mike linebacker on every team has the green dot. It's the most important job on the field. It really it's outside of quarterback. It's the most important part of your team. Who's calling the plays and the audibles on defense? Who's pointing everything out, bro? You never watched Breaking Bad? That's about it. Yeah, like I did. It wasn't purposely done, and then I saw the a spoiler for the ending of the show, and I'm like, all right, well now I don't have to watch it. My problem is with Breaking Bad now, Peanut, isn't even that I know the ending of the show. It's the fact that I get very obsessive with shows. And when I see a show like The Wire, I didn't watch The Wire when it was brand new. I watched it after it ended the show. And I watched all 4 or 5 seasons of The Wire in like 2 weeks. Like a show as good as Breaking Bad's supposed to be, I would literally probably cancel 2 weeks of training in the AM because I'd be up till 4 AM every day watching Breaking Bad. I'd probably watch 7 or 8 episodes a day because I'm an obsessive person with those kind of things. Like, I really am. Like, I'll tell you a little side story here, guys. Remember when Netflix was a mail-in service? You sign up, you would put a queue together, and they would send you two movies or TV show DVDs at a time. And then once they got those 2 back, the next 2 on the thing would come. So I didn't watch 24 when it was a brand new show, but I got hooked on 24 during one point in my life, like '08, '09, and I was so hooked on it. I would get 2 DVDs of 24, which would have 8 episodes on it. I would watch all 8 episodes in one night. The next day, go to Blockbuster because Blockbusters were still around. Get the next 2 DVDs, come home and watch them while I was waiting for Netflix to mail me the next 2 DVDs. Literally, I watched 5 seasons of 24 in 3 weeks because I'm obsessive, and I can't wait. I love when TV shows are put out all at once on Netflix because then you can just watch as much as you want in one night. If Mauro Cunningham starts slipping, then insert Dean. But right now, these 2 guys are playing very well together. Everyone is going to have blown coverage. Can't wait to hear you when this Dean blows play. We're going to find out. His practice window's been open. He is going to start practicing here soon. And that's that. Phil, funny. Phil, back when you worked on cruise, how many days when out, did you work entire time? I worked 7 days a week for 6 months straight. Now, my job was in entertainment, so I got a lot of the daytimes off. To go see the countries that I was visiting, the ports that we were in. Mostly my shifts were, nighttime, 7 to 2 a.m., stuff like that. I DJ'd, I hosted karaoke, I taught line dancing, all that kind of stuff. Social. I was basically like a social, butterfly on a cruise ship. That's basically what I did. I basically got paid to party, is what I did. Nope. The best series on the show is the season when the bodies in the abandoned building. Man, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I love the Polish dock workers season. I thought it was so interesting. I can't really get into why on this show, but I really enjoyed that. 27-3 Eagles defensive showdown. That's your Eagles Jets prediction. Wow. I could see it, honestly, Travis. Somewhere like 27-3, 27-9. I don't think the Eagles defense is worried about, and we shouldn't be worried as fans about Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson tears us apart, we got some big problems. But that's about it. 750. Typing it doesn't actually get it to me. You actually got to do it. And I would never ask anybody to donate that much money to me, ever. Going to make dinner and watch playoffs tonight. I am, because we're the final 10 minutes of the show today. It's 22 likes on YouTube now, 4 on Facebook. We do have to talk a little Phillies baseball at some point. What the Wire about? It's about, it's about the Baltimore drug traffickers and drug dealers and the cops trying to stop them. Mail-in service. Let me go ask my poppy. Yeah. You babies don't remember what Netflix used to be like. The Wire, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos. You could put The Sopranos 1, The Wire 3. I'm a huge fan, Peanut, of The Americans. It is the greatest show of all time that nobody actually watched. It is fantastically written, fantastically acted. They take time developing stories and characters, um, which if you like slower character building shows and you want action-packed shows 24/7, it's not for you. You can see Russell's ass multiple times, which anything that like that is a winner. Um, it's the greatest show in my opinion. I love it without a doubt. There's other great shows. Breaking Bad is the best TV show ever made. Um, I don't know. 24. Oh no, 24 was so inventive, but it got really really bad. First season of 24 it absolutely was, and the ending of that first season, without giving it away, fantastic television. And it was really new and creative. It was something everybody complains about TV shows just always rebooting or bringing back old stuff. Well, 24 when it first came out was as creative and inventive as any show had ever been. Netflix just ended their mail. Did they? And they still did it? I can't even believe it. Walker, Texas Ranger. Didn't we just mention that on the show a few days ago? I watched the Halo show, and it was the best, but only a few episodes. Yeah, there are a lot of great. I loved Mad Men, Sons of Anarchy. There's a lot of great television shows out there. Um, what was the show with Liv Shriver on Showtime? Why am I drawing a blank on it? But that show was great. They snatched them up. These hyenas. I don't know how they find ways to stash so many players. I don't even know what we're talking about now because we got so off topic here. I liked Breaking Bad for the science behind synthetic. I would love to know if a show ever tried to see if what they did was actually legit. The Jets offense may make so many mistakes that will hit. Yeah, I can see a pick six, ex Blackman. Um, from the Eagles defense, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, things like that, a safety. I can see that. Zach Wilson's just not it. And the longer they go with Zach Wilson, the more likely that Robert Saleh gets fired for keeping it sticking with him. Eric Elephant's graveyard is hilarious. That whole comment cracked me up. Oh man, you had the best John ever. Yeah, I did have the best job ever. Everyone acts like the Eagles D didn't shut the Rams down in the second half. They adjusted. They did. And if they play like they did in the second half against Zach Wilson and the Jets, Peanut, it's going to be a blowout on Sunday, without a doubt. I was not Julie. I never got to the full cruise director. I was working my way to cruise director. The Love Boat, though, so fake, so not accurate to what life on a cruise ship is like. Just so you know, at least back 20 plus years ago, it wasn't. You tend to be funniest when you're mad. Don't be mad. No reason to be mad. Life's too short to be mad. My new series is Deadwood on Max. I have not seen it. I'll have to give it a shot. The Americans is on FX. It was on FX. I don't know. I think it's on Amazon now on replay, but it was an FX show. So wherever you get your FX replays of shows, um, it is an amazing show. FX, honestly, did FX like not every FX show was up my style of show or favorite type of show, but I don't think FX produced a bad show. FX makes great television shows. They produce great work, without a doubt. I never watched The Shield, but I heard a lot. Mike Chiklis is a great actor. I remember my grandma making me watch The Commish with Michael Chiklis. The Americans was good, absolutely. One of the quality I really do love, like the fact that The Americans was centered around Russian KGB spies living in America, trying to bring down the American government, and you were actually kind of rooting for them. You weren't rooting for the FBI guy to catch him. You were rooting for them to win. Like I felt like so anti-American rooting for them in that show. Um, Still got 30 CDs for the price of one. Yeah, I still got my CD collection. The Shield is top five. I don't know about top five. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But I don't think it holds to the other shows we've talked about. Wasn't impressed with The Wire. Selling drugs on the corner was an everyday thing in North Philly growing up in the '90s. That's a different topic right there. And it's a shame that you had to see that on a daily basis. Never watched The Shield, but Kurt Sutter's Money. Sons is up there too. Sons of Anarchy was a great show as well. Mad Men. A lot of these shows, Sons. Anyone that doesn't crack my top five, the reason why they don't crack my top three or five is because they were great shows. They just didn't have great endings. And the thing that with the Americans, the final episode paid off the entire series. The last episode, if for those that have watched The Americans, if you remember the scene in the parking garage in the last episode, oh, that's all I gotta say. If you remember what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, and it's the great show. Ray Donovan. That Ray Donovan was a great show as well. I really like the scene of Warrior Princess. um, for basic cable, The Shield was number one. No, The Americans. A Team is my favorite show. My first dog. Um, right here, was named Colonel Decker, based off of the Army Colonel that chased the A Team around for 3 of the 5 seasons. We were going to name our next dog if we didn't adopt ones that already had names Murdoch. The A Team is my favorite show. I wanted to walk in at my wedding to the A Team music. It didn't happen. The A Team is the greatest show ever, without a doubt. House doesn't get the love it deserves. Yeah, I kind of liked it. I don't know. It was good. Doctor shows don't really do it for me. Phil, just to be clear, I was not asking to come to your house. I was asking if I worked on a cruise. Uh, '05, was there time to talk to chicks? Oh, there was time to talk to chicks. Oh, there was time. Without a doubt. My house was good. I don't know if I'd use the word amazing. I talk all this shit, but I've been watching Pretty Little Liars with my wife. Yeah. Ah, 9 seasons of you, Laurie, pretending he wasn't British, just like him. Oh, yeah, it's funny. And Gilligan's Island. It's actually kind of a funny show. I kind of always laugh at it. Where's your pizza shop? Want to come support sometime? Yeah, it's at the bottom of the screen. Since no one else will sponsor this show, I'm sponsoring the show myself by promoting the pizza shop. Fox's Pizza Den, Kennett Square, PA, 345 Scarlet Road. Check us out. I'm there every day. Not to open to close every day, but I'm there every day. I love for everybody to come say hello. I would greatly appreciate it. I feel like our salesman Dane Wilson's mom because he holding on him too long. Same as Pickett's situation. 2 of the worst quarterbacks being given opportunity after opportunity. Eric, what's up? A fun fact: Xena is actually based on the character from the Conan series. After her origin is super dark in the character. It's awesome. Interesting. FX had a great run. Might still be on that run, man. We're behind. Yeah, I'm so far behind on comments. I'm just gonna like all these comments and move on because we got 2 minutes left of the show, and I didn't even get to talk about the Phillies here, guys. Phillies are gonna possibly lose tonight, guys. I'm just gonna tell you. Oh, I'm fast forwarding here. Prison Break was a good show. I didn't watch every season, but it was really good. B.A. Baracus, I'll pity the fool. Prison Break. Yeah, we're so far behind. All right. Let's get caught up here. Phillies tonight, guys. Real quick, do you guys have confidence in the Phillies? We got 2 minutes left in the show here. Gotta say that I'm worried about the Phillies tonight. Weeds the show. Never watched. My first watch through Prison Break, I was hooked on it. Yeah, it was a really good show. Um, Phillies tonight. Aaron Nola goes against the Braves. I want the Phillies to win so bad. I just feel like I said the other day that the momentum has left the Phillies the way they lost game 2. The momentum is in the Braves. The Braves are complete and total a-holes. They're having freaking like red carpet parties for leaving for Philly. They have no idea. You got people out there saying that the Atlanta Braves are the greats and this and that. Yes, the Phillies will take home games. I don't know. I think this goes five games now. I think they lose tonight. I think they win tomorrow, and then game 5 back in Atlanta. I don't know. I think the Phillies' momentum is lost at this point. But I've been wrong before. I'm wrong more than most, and I'll admit I'm wrong tomorrow if they do win. I don't have confidence in Aaron Nola tonight. I don't have confidence in the offense. Bryce Harper has not been playing as well as people think he is right now. He needs to come alive. And how come the Braves don't have their pitcher announced yet? Is there a rule that you got to announce your starting pitcher by a certain time? Like, seriously, how do the Braves not have their starting pitcher announced yet? Kind of a little bogus. It sounds like a Bill Belichick type thing to do. F the Braves. F means forget. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it means. I think I read that somewhere. Mad Chatter. Don't remember. Have a good day, Phil. Love you that you answer our comments, dude. This is what I do, man. We're at 272 comments on this show. We've only cracked up 300 a few times. This is what I do. I love it, Travis. Love it. You can go watch any other show with a bunch of guys just small talking, but this isn't about that. This is not about my opinions. It's about your opinion. We didn't agree a lot today, me and you, Travis. We disagreed a little bit, but it's okay. That's why the show tagline is where your opinions actually matter, because it's okay to disagree and it's okay to have a discussion. We don't have to fight. We can disagree. That's what sports is, man. Um, there ought to be a law just like the Shield. I don't know. Is that a quote from the show? I don't know. Anyway, I got the Phillies losing tonight. Sorry, guys. Hate to break the news to you. I got the Phillies losing 5-3 tonight. That's my thought. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll recap the Phillies. Hopefully, I'm wrong. We can continue talking TV shows tomorrow. We can do a whole hour on TV shows. It's always fun when I catch the show. I appreciate when you tune in, Doc. I know not everybody can tune in at 8 a.m. every single day, but we try to do this as much as we can. K1, where are you at? You might fantasy consultant. I'm a fantasy guy too. Well, great show, my friend. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. We got to wrap this up, guys. It's after 9:30 already. We're well north of 90 minutes already. Got to go. Got to go. Got to wrap this up for the day. So everybody have a great day. Yes, I did predict a Phillies lose tonight at the bank. I know. I just got a really bad vibe, HC. Really bad vibe. I'm your sports therapist. I can take that. I can accept that. That's what I want to be. I like that. Peace out. A-Town down, as we say on this show. Everybody have a great day. Trending in the AM here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit that like. We got 23 likes on YouTube, 4 on Facebook. Like, share. More people. I want to hit 300 plus comments. Dude, we're up to 90 minutes. We get this to a certain level, I will do 2 hours every day, guys. I don't know how, but I will. Got to keep sharing and keep telling more people to tune in. If I can be here at 4 a.m., they can be here at 8. Absolutely. Your prediction is bad. Not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I've been wrong before, and I will be wrong again. But everybody, I gotta roll, guys. I do. Got to get to work. So for Philadelphia Sports Network, I am Phil Stiefel. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Let's prove me wrong in Phillies. Let's get the W tonight. Have a good day, guys, and let's ring that bell.